Good morning, Uganda. Welcome to the agenda. My name is Julie F. Natama, and this morning on the agenda, we're looking at agro industry in line with tech, and that is animal agri-tech, using modern technology to improve livestock farming. Be part of the conversation, especially if you wondered, how is it possible? Well, it is possible, and that's why we've got experts to speak into this matter. We do have Ahmed Kawesi, who is the CEO of Start Boom Digital, and Ronald Katamba, the CEO of Afrosoft IT Solutions, who are painting this picture for us as to how best we can use tech to have good animal industry all together. Be part of the conversation, 0709 602 592. A very good morning to you, gentlemen. Ronald, good morning.
Morning, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. A pleasure having you again.
Thank you so much.
Ahmed, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, dear?
I'm well, thank you. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
It is a pleasure.
Right, kicking this off, and I would love to get the perspectives from the angles and advantages each one of you stands. When we talk about animal agri-tech, I'll start with Ahmed. What exactly does it mean? What does it look like?
Simply, to just make it simply, I don't have a clear definition, like a dictionary definition, but I would say that this clearly means that integrating technology with farming. So maybe supporting animals so that they can live comfortably, stay healthy, and give up the best output that we can get from them, or using technology to grow crops, increase the yield, keep them safe from pests and diseases, and also be able to feed the people, because at the end of the day, this is food. So this technology is enabling us to be able to feed well, maintain our health, and grow our economies. Food is very essential, so technology is very imperative to be used in the agribusiness if we are to stay sovereign, independent, and strong as a nation.
Right.
Yeah. So technology is very, very important.
I have the closing remark there, if you to stay sovereign and independent. Ronald, over to you. What does your vantage have to say as to the meaning of agri-tech?
Thank you so much for that. I've been in this field for some time in agri-tech, and I've supported different organizations and groups in terms of agri-tech. The main point of agri-tech is to improve modern technology, bringing modern technology to farmers, even those one in rural area, such they can have access to modern farming. They live that the way how they've been doing their farming, because it's also very important to make sure we give technology to farmers so that they can understand how such kind of technology can help in modern day of farming, how they can improve their farming in terms of livestock, how can it take for them to make sure they have access to this information, to make sure they can be helped, and so many things. Yeah.
How is modern technology improving or changing the face of farming in Uganda? Over to you, Ronald.
It has done a lot, and we have many case studies. And when you look at some of the technology we've been working on, like Jaguza Tech. Jaguza Tech is a technology. It uses sensors. We use sensors to make sure we detect diseases in cattle and monitoring cattle. So there have been a lot of problems, in cattle corridors. People are stealing their cows. There's a lot of diseases in cattle. So we had to think, how can we use technology to make sure we could help farmers to have access to this information? So that was the birth of Jaguza, whereby we have a patented device we put on the cattle, and that device can be able to detect diseases in the next 48 hours before the disease manifests. So if you have a cow and you're here in Kampala, and your cow is going to get sick. Today is Thursday. It's going to get sick on Saturday. You receive a message today, and it notifies you that your cow number this, it's going to get sick. What can I do? So you start from there. So why are we doing that? We give an alert to a farmer to make sure they can take precaution on what is taking place on their farming. There's a lot of cattle stealing. How can we solve such kind of problem? We as innovators, our work is to make sure we solve such kind of problems. Yes, instead of going to other countries and solve this problem, we need to come here in our country, making sure we solve such kind of problem. Cattle rustling it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure we solve such kind of problem? Through this technology, you can be able to track your cow. I can know now my cow is in this place. It has moved out from here. I can find it here, and by doing that, we are helping farmers to make sure their cows are not being stolen. Yes.
Right. You are watching UBC TV. It's The Agenda, and this morning we are looking at animal agri-tech using modern technology to improve livestock farming in Uganda. In studio with us, Ahmed Kawesi, who is the CEO of Start Boom Technologies, and Ronald Katamba, who is the CEO of AfroSoft IT Solutions. What do you want to learn so that we all learn together, unlearn and relearn? 0709 602 592. Send that WhatsApp text and we'll be able to engage almost immediately. Now, Ahmed, looking at the side of AI, what AI technologies do you think are available in Uganda or can be introduced to Uganda to embark on the improvement of livestock farming?
Currently, I want to go a little bit back and say that in the development of humanity, agriculture was a big step. And agriculture is in itself is a technology, because when people started from hunting, then food gatherers, then they realized that when you plant these seeds, they become, they start growing, then they started making communities. Then after that, they realized that if you keep animals, then, you can get milk and get hides and all of these things. So this is a sector of life that we don't need to neglect. And I'm very thankful to all farmers, because they are one of the most forward-thinking people who are early adapters to all these technologies. In Uganda, you see that people are really struggling so hard to see that they adapt technology to improve their farming. And on the side of the economy, we cannot grow to the expectations we think about if we cannot feed ourselves and stay healthy. So farmers are struggling so hard to see that they embrace technology to push this industry. We need to move from subsistence to large-scale farming, and with that, you cannot do it without technology. You need combined harvesters. You need sensors in the gardens to be able to see the moisture, the level of fertility in the ground, and all of these things. What I can say is, when it comes to AI and technology, all of these things combined, they inform the nation on how to move forward. And currently, I am very excited because we see places like Uganda who are doing a lot of research when it comes to animals and plants. They are creating new variations that are withstanding the climate change and all of these things. Currently, there's a lot of technology that is being implemented. However, like I would say, most of the technology that is implemented in Uganda is implemented as individual tools. So you can put a sensor somewhere to guide the farmers, and it's not readily available for everyone. I hope it will be very much in the future. But I think there is a little bit of gap when it comes to AI, because we have different sensors from different places, but how do they communicate to each other, and how do they inform the general landscape, the overview of the nation when it comes to agriculture? But there are very many sensors that I would say, like Ronald was telling you, we have very many sensors that we have put on even on the president's cows, that are actually helping him to, see his animals and
from wherever he is.
Yes. And even stop the rustling Amudat, Karamoja, and all these things. We believe that if these sensors are put in place, you know, in such an area, we can even create an AI system that can predict when the hustlers are coming in to come and take the cattle and all of these things. So to answer your question clearly, we have sensors that have been put in place that are checking the moisture of the soil, that are checking the fertility of the soil, that are informing different farming experts from Makerere University on how to do better farming. However, there is a little bit of AI because the sensors is very old technology, which has been around for ages. But when it comes to AI, which is new, I think we still need a little more innovation there. But I'm very confident that because I've talked to very many computer science or software engineers from different universities, and they are doing a lot. Students are innovating in this place because they understand that agriculture is the backbone of the nation. So if we don't safeguard it using technology and AI, we don't have a future to protect. So this is a space that we, me and Ronald, are very interested in, and we're doing a lot, and we are willing to support everybody that comes up with an innovation to see that we make it grow stronger in the perspective of implementing AI for agriculture. Yes.
There in Ronald, allow me ask, what is the importance of data when it comes to aligning or improving the agri-tech industry, animal industry as well, of Uganda? How important is data?
Thank you so much. As you all know, that that is very important here. I'll give you an example. Uganda right now cannot export meat to Commonwealth countries just because we're lacking data to make sure we support that. And when you look at farmers here, like I give you an example, President Museveni is one of the best farmer in East Africa. At times when I was with him, he told me he has more than 35,000 heads of cattle and above. Yeah, that means he cannot sell his milk outside East Africa because of data. So why do we have such kind of technology? When we have data, we collect this data. We have the government can have this data. They use this data to make sure they use what we call analytics. They can visualize this data and get actionable insight out of this. For example, if there's we all know that disease in cattle, it's only in Zimbabwe, but that's not true. Because we don't have data to support that, we always know that whenever there's a disease, it's in Zimbabwe. But there are some other areas where there are diseases. Yeah? So because we don't have this data, we cannot predict that which other places can we find where there's data. And that's why data is so much important in this country. And what we are doing is, with Jaguza Tech, we are doing what we call an integration. An integration means you have different systems clustered into different organizations, ministries, but they are using one centralized database. And that means if we have this centralized database, the Ministry of Agriculture will have access to this information, but he will be feeded, the ministry will be feeded by different ministries, districts. For example, if I have a system and it's seated at Ministry of Health or at my office, I'll be able to see what is happening in Kayunga, in Masaka, in Imbarara, in Chitugum. All this data will be coming to centralized. And what does it mean? I'll be able to visualize this data. I'll have actionable insight. I'll make sure policymakers can write policies out of this data. I'll make sure that all the decision makers, the government, will look into this and know where can we support, which place is lacking markets, diseases, and so many things. Because of the data, that's why we can make decisions. But when we don't have data, there's nothing we can base on here.
Yes. That makes a lot of
I would like to add on something on top of that. I have been contacted by different organizations and in the agri-tech and the agri industry. And the biggest problem that Uganda is facing is something called traceability. I don't know if you get it right.
Yes, I hear you. It makes sense.
Yeah, traceability is where we can clearly locate the origin of something.
Yes.
When it comes to gold, when it comes to food, when it comes to milk, I'll give you an example. Ugandan tea is harvested in Uganda, taken, let's say, to the UK, processed, put into bags, sold around the world as British tea. And Uganda
remains unknown.
Yeah, like the stage of Uganda's contribution stops at the export you get. However, this product, if it goes around the world, it needs to have this traceability. That's why when you hold an iPhone, you see assembled in the US, but made in China, because they want to keep that traceability. Traceability, most of the products and in the agribusiness, let's say cattle, milk, let's go to even the plants, maize, and all of these things. They lack traceability. So when they go to the international market, Uganda loses money. Can you imagine? We grow a lot of coffee. We are literally the biggest in Africa right now. It gets exported, but the moment it gets exported,
Uganda exists no more.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
We just get this 7 billion and we are done with it. Right. There's no traceability, but if there was traceability, we could still get those loyalties at every stage because it is Ugandan coffee just packaged, let's say, as Nestle or anything. So, and when it comes to beef, this is a huge problem because you see, we can export beef to Middle East, we can export to other countries that don't have access to proteins, even Congo here. But the problem is, for Western world, let's say Europe or Middle East, they are Muslim countries. They want to see traceability. They want to see that the animal was bought using halal money. It was fed using halal feeds. It was slaughtered in an Islamic way,
manner,
packaged in an Islamic way until it reaches the supermarket.
Right.
This is all data.
Traceability.
There's no data.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
The things that we are unaware of, yet we are losing a lot of money. Imagine how much of the tax burden that would be reduced if these things were out there and are giving Uganda monies, and Uganda's economy is getting grown. You are watching UBC TV. Animal agri-tech is the conversation we're having this morning. And we're looking at how we can use modern technology to improve livestock farming in Uganda. 0709-602-592 is the only way you are able to be part of this conversation. So do engage. Now let's look at the livestock sector in Uganda, and this is to the both of you. I'll start with you, Ahmed. Do you think Uganda is ready, practically, looking at the practical sense of things, do you think Uganda is ready for modern, sophisticated technology? Or are we trying to run even before we walk?
Yeah, first of all, we're talking about animals now.
Yes.
Right? Uganda has a lot of beef. And we have Ankole cattle, which are quite unique. And I'm telling you, there's a big demand of Ankole cattle around the world. So we can leverage on that and place ourselves on the international market. We are ready. We are more than ready. And we've had different investors coming here, putting up, let's say, modern abattoirs to be able to slaughter properly. But we still have a gap when it comes to sanitation, when it comes to beef. I think this is the biggest problem currently, because we have the animals, but we don't have the proper, handling. And people who are doing it properly are doing it at a small scale. So we are ready for international investors to come and put in place these slaughter homes that are modern, up to standard with the latest technology, so that we can be able to harvest more money from the animals that we have here. I think we have been ready for generations, but there's no access to capital. So using the national TV, I'll call upon everybody that has money out there. This is
to invest in this.
Yes, because there is demand. There is huge demand, and we have the products. So we are ready. I believe that we are more than ready to receive the technology. And Ugandans are very clever people who learn how to use these things in minutes. So we can go ahead and utilize this opportunity when it comes up.
Oh, yeah.
And when it also comes to milk itself, we need to have more industries that can create long-lasting, shelf life milk and even powdered milk, so that we can be able to export. Agriculture has a lot of potential. It just lacks a few things, technology and investment, to make it the biggest thing in our economy. Yes.
Ronald, what stand do you have?
Yeah, I disagree with him about calling investors to come.
Right.
We don't need the investor to come. We have very young, talented people.
Well, I mean, investors could be with domestic investors.
Yeah, exactly. If domestic, that is very good. Very good.
All right.
But we have very talented innovators, software engineers, who can be able to have this done. If it comes to milk technologies, they can bring such kind of thing. I give you an example. At my company, I have a young girl who's doing internship at my place, and we came up with a technology for weighing cattle using a phone. So if I want to know how many kilo you have, I just take a picture and it can tell me that you are now
obese.
47. Yes.
Overweight.
Yes. The technology is already working.
Right.
And how much buying a weigh bridge for cattle, it cost 100 million to get it from China to come here. So this is something that you're just going to take a picture and you can be able to know what's taking place. This is a very huge technology.
Right.
And what do we need from this girl, Scovia? Scovia, she needs to make sure she gets some funds from the ministry to make sure she can improve on such technology. At the end of the day, in Uganda, they will start using it in Kenya, in Tanzania, in the US, and all over the world. We need to make sure we have investors to be here to make sure they could invest in young, talented people. There are so many here. You can't believe, but there are so many young, talented people who are passionate about technology, who, even if you say you sleep here and start doing this, I want it tomorrow, you'll find it tomorrow, because they have that passion. They are very young. They feel they can do something. Yeah. So what do we need? We just need to make sure we improve. For example, if I'm using drone, I've been using it in the US. Here in Uganda, I'm not allowed to use drone technology.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you know how much it can do? I've been in the US in 2 states, in Iowa and in New York. I have more than 2,000 heads of cattle and about 15 farms that are using drone to make sure they can detect diseases, they can monitor, they know the reservoir, where is my cow safe, where it's going, is there water, so such kind of drone. And I give you an example. In cattle corridor, you cannot trace if someone has stolen your cow. A drone can be able to move very fast and look for that person in real time. For example, if we coordinate with police, with agencies, to make sure we have such kind of technology in place, and we make sure that when a drone or when someone is being stolen his cattle, because we have a monitoring device which is attached on the drone, it will be easier for it to be traced and being and the drone can get that person who is stealing. in real time, such that we can be able to stop that kind of theft. When you look at Sudan and Uganda, there's a lot of cattle theft in those borders. I was talking to the government in South Sudan. They are saying we need such kind of technology to make sure it helps us into cattle theft. Because people cross the border, they come, they steal, and they go back. In Congo, they cross the border. How can we create a technology that will help those borders, to cross borders, to make sure there's no any theft in case of any?
I have personal experience. I was in Amdat last year, and as Muslims, we celebrate the Eid for slaughtering animals. Yeah, yes. We call it Kurban. And I was in Amdat. I was working with some Turkish group of people, and we wanted to buy at least 1,000 heads of cattle from Amdat and bring it to Jinja for slaughtering. But you'll be surprised. The animals were hustled away in the night before we came. Yeah, and they told us that the people who stole the animals were running at a minimum of 30 kilometers per hour, running towards Kenya. And there's nothing we could do. So this is a serious problem. That is a lot of money lost. Yeah, it was money lost, and we had a meeting with the, they have clan heads. Yes. We had a meeting with them, and they said this is a serious problem. This is just last year. Yeah, and I think it's still happening. So that going northern Uganda and northeast, that side is a serious problem. What I was telling Ronald is we need investors, but we also need access to capital, because people are innovating every day. I see a lot of innovation, and I keep wondering, wow, people can do this.
It should not die here.
Yeah, yes. But you see what he has just talked about, and that is something, by the way, I need. After this, we're going to have a discussion, because we'll talk about it after the show. The thing is, very many innovators in Uganda are coming up with these cool innovations and ideas. But we need access to capital, so we need investors for scaling, because you see, to make this this technology to be everywhere, to be accessible, to be at a low cost, it needs massive investment to scale and to also improve. So we need access to capital when it comes to innovation in the agribusiness.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's one of the challenges, but I'm also looking at, for us to just expound a bit on the challenges, I'm looking at the cost of internet in Uganda. I'm looking at attitudes, human attitudes, especially now that the conversation is on farmers. Farmers' attitudes towards this whole idea of modern technology, looking at electricity. Lately, load shedding is a thing. It had been a while since we had experienced it, but right now it's rampant. Looking at digital literacy, how broaden the perspective or the picture of the challenges in these areas, and how big a deal they are, because they're challenges and are affecting farming in Uganda, which is the backbone of our country.
First of all, I would say there's a proliferation of internet. It is not like before. Yeah, I mean, like, internet is literally everywhere. I've been all over the country, and I've been to Yumbe. I don't know, you've been there?
Yumbe, no, not yet.
Yeah, I was in Yumbe, and I found somebody using TikTok, and they were live streaming in Yumbe. Then I went to, after Yumbe, the districts the names are not so hard to, not easy to remember. Yes. Yeah, but I'm telling you, people were using Snapchat there. And Snapchat is one of the hardest social media platforms to learn. So there's access to technology, there's access to internet, though it is still at
14 million Ugandans are using the internet.
Yes, those that have smartphones. Yeah, because that is the cap now. It means like 14 million people have smartphones, the rest don't have. But the penetration of the internet is far and wide. Right. So internet is there, smartphones are not there. That is why it is very important to at least have a local brand that can have easy plans. Let's say you pay 20,000, 30,000 or 10,000 a month to access a gadget, then you have access to internet. Though even internet is still costed high. At least I believe in Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania. Uganda still has the most expensive internet. So we need to see how to reduce the internet. But I also want to tell you, there are two things people forget. And I think it's very important we talk about them here. Internet is not the World Wide Web. You get? There are two things. So there is internet, which is actual fiber, hardware, routers, those things. Those things are everywhere. But the World Wide Web is the Google, the what, those things. So I think Ugandans need to invest or put their eyes at creating actual local solutions. So we can have internet working well without Google. So I believe this is an opportunity for Ugandans to create localized networks, because these are everywhere. You know, when you go to, they're called mesh networks. We can have a Ugandan mesh network, which is internet, border to border, and communication is easy. You'll be surprised how many people can adapt.
Oh, is that what the Chinese use? So instead of WhatsApp, they use, is it WeChat?
They have local platforms TikTok, built on their own mesh, and that mesh is internet. Like I've said, there are two things, and people think that networking and having this connection is the internet, and they think it's the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is another thing, because the internet existed for years before the World Wide Web was made. And people were communicating. So Ugandans can invest in having these mesh networks so that we don't leave anybody behind. Let's say if Ugandans create, this is one of the things in our company. It's a very big objective, creating a Ugandan mesh network that can connect everyone. If people don't have access to the World Wide Web, how do we give them access to the internet? And the internet will still serve the same things, because the internet will be moving local data. If you're a farmer and you can get data of prediction for farming in your area, you get weather forecast, you also get informed about the markets and how you can price properly. That can be done on the internet, which is the mesh. Then the World Wide Web, you can pay to access. So these are two things that we need to separate.
Makes a lot of sense, yes.
So that we create, expound on it, and we see if maybe Ugandans have already done this, but they are two things which are totally different. Internet and the World Wide Web, they're not the same.
About it, it would increase accessibility. Even if one can do away with
because the World Wide Web, you pay for it. This one will be for free. And we already, I'm telling you, there is a lot of infrastructure that can move a mesh from border to border. Which can be free for all Ugandans, like how we breathe air.
Now, our time is fast spent, but allow me engage a couple of comments that are coming through from you, dear viewer. We do appreciate you for being on the show. Modern technology is the way to go. We are in the world of modernity. The challenge could be the level of literacy to our local farmers who may not be in position to use this technology, because most of our prominent farmers are people who are not learned. My question is, how is it going to help a local farmer who may want to improve his farming in the village? Sensitization and serious sensitization are, and I think, I don't know what you meant, but you write serious. Anyways, are the way to go. Otherwise, it may favor only the learned farmers. But I thank the innovation. This is Jalpara Felix Parmu Parmu Unique from Marble City, Moroto, Karamoja region, Moroto. And that is at the referral hospital. Live watching you this morning. Thank you, Felix, for being on the show. I think could pose this to Ronald. What's Felix's idea?
For me, on the technology perspective,
things there.
Yes, I believe we develop technology that's not favoring only Kampala people. Because if you're an innovator, you have to make sure you look at communities. How can, if I do something like this, how is it going to help my people in rural area? So we build technology. When it comes to internet, internet is available everywhere. And I want to thank NITA Uganda for doing their best to make sure at least internet can reach everywhere. And this, not only NITA, but the government is doing their best to make sure we have such kind of internet. When it comes to technology, we first look at if I do this technology, I don't just be in my bedroom and I develop it as something, and then I say, yeah, this is now okay, it's going to work. Have you done a test when you go to Karamoja and test it and see, is it favoring Karamoja people or it's only favoring people in Kampala? So that's why we build technology. You talked about the mesh network, but we've already evolved one. Okay. And we have even a technology that uses SMS when it's offline. Even if network is not available, you can send a message and it can go to person. So we have developed that for some company here in Uganda and other countries. Such kind of technology helps whenever there's, in case the internet is not on, in case the telecom has switched off, what kind of communication can you do? Yeah, so we have that kind of technology.
All right.
But we do what we call offline technology. The offline technology means I don't have internet, but I can do whatever I want. In case I have, whether in 2 days or 3 days, everything will be synchronized to my phone, and I'll be able to see what is taking place. We also build technology based on small phones, people with small phone. They are using SMS, they are using USSD. USSD means if I dial *100#, I'll get a menu and it will ask me, do you want to access extensional worker in my area? Yes. Where is your area? Karamoja. When you type 2 and gives you the list of extensional workers who are within Karamoja, and I'll be able to see those farmers, those experts, and they can guide me with their numbers, the phone numbers, and their name, and the location where they are. You are not using smartphone, you're using small phone. So USSD, we build systems basing, even if someone who has a small phone can also access our service to make sure we have, we are not only favoring on smartphone, but also small phone
accessibility.
Yes.
Right, now this conversation has to come to the end, but allow me to engage more comments, just few. Someone here says, I hear you say Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania have the most expensive internet. Can you back this up statistically? And Southern Africa countries have the highest internet prices in Africa and are slightly more expensive than Europe. And I think if I'm to remember what we talked about, it was the fact that Uganda has more expensive internet than the rest of East Africa, without comparing to the rest of Africa. That is indeed proven. You can check the internet. Uganda has slightly more expensive internet compared to the rest of East Africa. And someone else comes through and says, those Ugandans in the studio are doing a great job and need to be supported. Question, how much has the Ministry of ICT and that of Agriculture been supported towards their innovations and ambitions? Any concrete commitments by government so far? Thank you. This is Thomas. Over to you, Ahmed. Or should I pose it to the both of you from experience? But our dear viewer here asks, has the Ministry of ICT come through to help, or Ministry of Agriculture to support?
I'll answer this as Ahmed.
Yes.
From Startboom Digital.
All right.
First of all, I run a company limited by profits. You get it? So I'm a profit-making company. Of course, profit-making companies can be supported by their governments. So I welcome the support. Currently, we haven't been supported, and we keep engaging. You know, but you also have to understand that at the end of the day, we have a duty as Ugandans to do what is best for our country.
Right.
So I don't have to wait for government to come for me to do what I have to do. It is literally upon me to as a Ugandan to do what I have to do. So Then the other thing is, I really hope they come through.
Right.
You know, I would love, because government is the biggest payer.
That's true.
And if and this is what has made these companies, Google, Microsoft, huge, is they have government contracts. I can't wait to have one, you know, and because we're already doing, I'll give you an example, one of our products that we have, Swervelink, which is a social media and e-commerce problem. And we already have a problem in this area. We need to be able to allow Ugandans enter the money economy. And how do they do that? There is no digital platform that can actually help them. And they are spending a lot of money and time on TikTok. So our platform is literally social media with e-commerce. Social media with everything of social media and a marketplace. So if you're a farmer, you can create content for your market.
Your market, yes.
Let's say honey or beef or anything, and in one place people can order from there. So these are some of the innovations that we have put in place to enable Ugandans to reach. But of course, we, like I've said, we are for profit, and maybe government is looking for people who are doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. This conversation has to come to the end. Ruben is coming up with sports. Unfortunately, we have to close it here. I was enjoying it. And I almost went overboard, forgetting that other players in the field have to also take their course. So allow us end it here. This is Good Morning Uganda. I'm coming back with the extra, but for now, Ruben is coming through with Good Morning Uganda Sports Update. So do enjoy and look forward to it. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studio.